You out in Panora's Panera Bread's parking lot?
I'm in Richmond. Man. I just got here too.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody. Hello. It is Lori Woodruff, your host for tonight. Lori Woodruff on Unleashed Live. Every Thursday, we come to you and have an awesome, different, crazy topic. And tonight's topic is about how to flip that credit score in 30 days. So before we get started, we just want to see who's in the room and just kind of do our introductions. But Facebook, you all definitely make sure that you chime in. We've got some good tips for tonight that you'll be able to take home, take back to the camp, and you'll be able to get some other secrets to maybe help out for the rest of the year. So welcome everybody on Facebook. All right, so let's just see who's in the house now. Carl, introduce yourself. Who are you, sir?
I'm Carl McGugan. I'm the owner-operator for Siva Logistics. Make deliveries in the local Baltimore or local area. And also I'm working on a CD project that will be coming out shortly as everyone
Yes.
is coming. I must tell you, I'm in the process of working on one more song in the studio in Columbia. So we're wrapping it up. We're getting there, ready to rock and roll. So all right.
We've been waiting.
Yes.
Awesome. We've been waiting.
It's coming.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Rashida, I got something for you. Dan, go ahead. Introduce yourself. I'll be right back.
So my name is Dan, Dan Bethay. I am also known as Dan here on Life. I am a real estate investor, also an author, and I'm a day trader. So I believe in multiple streams of income, and I just love training and teaching people how to do the very same. Got to build and grow.
Thank you, Money Man.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have you on here. Did he mention he's the author of? Did you?
Well, I said I was an author. I didn't say Tears of a Man, but yes.
We have some creative people, so we got to make sure everybody knows who's on the line. If you guys haven't got your copy already, Tears of a Man, make sure you go to Daniel Bethay. JR?
Oh, just DanielBethay.com
Daniel
or
Bethay.
Amazon, and they can actually purchase the book on Amazon. But if you want an autographed copy, go to DanielBethay.com, and I will autograph a copy for you and send it off.
Bethay, I'll make sure his name is all in there, but it's BETHEA.com, DanielBethay.com. Awesome book of poetry, ladies and gentlemen. Get it. Get your copy. My other creative gentleman on the line who's got awesome internet when he wants to. Kevin, what's going on?
Coming to the stage. Yes. It is I, Mr. KH. Kevin Howe.
Comedian.
Good evening to everybody on the platform and to everybody out there in Facebook land. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds a little choppy. So I am Kevin. I'm a phenomenal father. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an investor as well. Soon to be author, December 2018.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. I want to keep some other things, some surprises. So back to you, Lori.
Thank you, sir. Right back in the studio. As I said, we got some creative people. So for tonight's topic, he's going to help out a lot with this topic because he and I both met in the credit space. So we're going to talk a little bit more heavier about some of the tips and topics for tonight. So Will, hello. Welcome.
What's up?
He making his cameo appearance, so I'm really happy he's on for real.
I always be looking or listening though.
I know, you're a busy guy. Thank you for tuning in. Who are you, sir?
All right, I'm Will, also known as DJ Superman, DMV's best video DJ, and I also have a moving business as well, DMV Distributors Moving Company, and I also work at Oarsman Chevy Buick GMC in Alexandria, where we got the best deals and free lifetime warranties on the engine on all cars, new or used.
Thank you.
Let's go.
So what did we hear? We heard automobile, DJ. He's the only DJ I really know. And then also we've got moving. He's helping some of my clients who are moving actually right now. So Good to know people. We connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots. Sheeta, did you want to introduce yourself or you want to be low key?
Oh, okay. I didn't even know this was, I realized that the mic was open. Okay.
It is. Hey, honey, I love you.
Love you too. I am an online marketer doing e-commerce.
Drops the mic. That's all she needed. See?
That was easy.
She is a mother. She is an entrepreneur, like, oh my gosh, like no other.
Crazy.
But she is my wonderful aunt as well. So, serial entrepreneur. So, I am Lori Woodruff, realtor, author, and host.
There you
Oh,
go.
y'all can't see me over there in Facebook land. Realtor, author, and host of Lorie TV. Put together Unleashed Live last year in hopes to have good conversations about adult topics that we go through every single day. So we let our hair down on Thursdays. We get a glass of whatever, lemonade, water, whatever you want in it, tea. And we get to actually get some topics and tips out there. So you'll see this on the replay for sure. And we're just going to have a lot of fun with tonight's topic. You all set?
Let's go.
Adrian, you all set out there? All right, so tonight's topic is about credit. Now, we went over the last couple of weeks about money. We already talked about creative ways to multiply your money last week. Before that, we were talking about stop borrowing money to fund your lifestyle. And now we're going to talk about, we're going to finish up the month. We have one more topic about money, but today we're going to talk about how to flip the credit score. Because the credit score, a lot of times people are just thinking it'll just improve itself or it'll just go away. Like, guess what? It doesn't. Nope. We are the masters of those 3 digits, so we got to talk about that. So just before we get started on some topics, these were delivered at the house today, and I had no idea who it was from. So I didn't want to just call people and just say, was it you? Was it you? Because I don't really have that many close people that would know my address for one. So when I got these earlier today, I was almost about to cry actually. So it was I found out who the mystery person was. It's going to stay a mystery. Thank you very much. And it's going to stay on the deck and just bloom and bloom and bloom. But it's just those things you remember when you get into a funky spot sometimes, and people just like to remember you who you really are. So no name dropping, but just understand I did find out who the sender of the flowers are. You good? It wasn't Elmo. All right, Kevin? It's all good. It's all good. Boo if you want to. So now she's gonna tune out. She's like, that's all I care about.
Wow.
All right. Any questions so far? We're good? Y'all got my cheeks all red. That's it. That's it. All right. Y'all talk. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
You can roll.
All right. Need to flip your credit score. Boost it. Understand it's not going to take overnight. Trust me, it's not a process. That's a quickie process. Many people want to. Credit score, that 3-digit number, it ranges from 300 to 850. And it takes into everything that we do from the past all the way up until now. So it's almost like a report card on what the hell we've been doing, good or bad. So there's misconceptions, there's myths about credit, and we're going to talk about 5 tips tonight to really help get that score together the right way. Make sure that you share this video, please, because someone could be getting in a position to get a home loan. They could be getting ready to get a business loan, car, or just trying to get that monkey off their back to just have a bad credit score. So share the video with them. So certainly this can certainly help out. Hey, Nicole. Hey, big girl. All right, so let's talk about some moves that we can do in the next 30 days. And some people think it takes years, right, Kevin? They think it takes forever to get things together. But I want you to know there are some things that you can do in the next 30 days that can turn some things around. All right. Number one. Number one is pay off all old debt first. I'm going to put all of these tips into the chat box so that you can go back to it because they're so simple and digestible that anybody can do it. Sheeta, now you have to stay on now for the whole hour. You have to stay on. There. On the background, here. I'll just leave this for you. You know I got your phone number, so it's not like I can't call you. Hello? All right. Kevin, pay off old debt first. Let's talk about that. Kevin, Mr. Internet.
He dropped off.
Hear me?
No, he's still there. No, we didn't hear you. Come on.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know you was talking to me.
Yeah, your name is Kevin. Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so look. Give me that question again.
Polished score. We want that polished score in 30 days. So what's up? Pay off. Number one, we got 5 tips and a bonus. So number one is pay off the old funky debt first. I said funky. Funky debt first.
Absolutely. And you want to start with the smallest one and then work your way up. So let's say, for instance, we had 4 debts. One was $30. The other one was $100. The other one was one. You take that additional $30 that you don't have to put toward that $30 that you paid, roll that up to the next debt, and get those debts out of there. So back to you, Lori.
From the smallest to the largest. So sometimes there may be some collections that might be on there. Look at the back of the credit report, get the phone numbers. First of all, print it out. Print out the report so you have it in front of you, because I think most people have just a fear of getting the daggone report in the first place. So there's so many agencies that you can pull it from, but I say go to annualcreditreport.com, pull that puppy off, and you can at least start working from the bottom up with the smallest debts. Okay? And another way is think about your balances. One way that you can start doing this in the next 30 days is you can start looking at your balances that you have. If it's like $1,000, 30% is the rule. Try to keep your balances at least 30% of the balance, of the credit limit or less. That way you don't charge a whole lot. A lot of times Christmas time is like the worst time because people are using their credit cards a lot. So try to keep your balance at least 30% to the credit limit. All right. So for example, if you got a $1,000 limit, try to keep your balance at least $300 or lower. Stop charging the cards like it's a part-time job. Stop charging on the cards. And if you have to have that discipline, take a freezer bag, fill it with water, drop them cards in there, and put it in the freezer. You can't get to it that easy if you have it in the daggone freezer.
Mm-hmm.
So
like you're on point right there. And can I piggyback off of what you just said, Lord?
Please do.
Very, very important to keep that balance under 30%, because what a lot of people don't realize and a lot of people don't know is that you're penalized when you use more than 50% of the balance on your card. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you haven't even got your statement yet. So you're actually penalized for using 50% or more on the balance of your card, because the credit scoring system only sees habit. And being that it only sees habit, when it sees those type of habits, it automatically thinks that you're going to go into default because you did that. So definitely stay under 30%.
Yeah, I'll definitely chime in on that.
I have to ask you, Will.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, definitely, because it doesn't matter if you're over 30% of that balance. Doesn't matter if you make minimum payments on time every month. It will hurt your score on a monthly basis, because pretty much creditors are just looking at like you're financially strapped. You have no cash. This is your only financial resource, and you're using all of it. So a lot of people don't know. They just think, oh, as long as I pay on time, then they'll be fine. But no, it's going to consistently drop your score every month.
Right. And you work at a car dealership, so you see all of the folks that might be coming through, even you've gotten anybody in a car is what their credit score could be?
You mean it's low scores?
Yeah, what's the lowest you've seen somebody get in a car loan?
440.
440.
Wow.
And what kind of rate was that? Do you remember?
What kind of what?
Interest rate.
Interest.
Oh, I'm sure it's about 23, 24.
23. So it costs more to have poor credit. So what we're trying to do is just give you some tips on how to break that number down. Good Lord. But they were happy about that car. That car was upside down before they took off the lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In situations like that, you can have the car for 3 years. Say if you borrow $15,000 on a car with 24% interest, you can have the car 3 years, and after 3 years, you're owed maybe $13,000 on the car, even though you might have paid about $12,000 already.
Wow.
So how much was the car originally?
$15,000.
You said $13,000 on top of it.
Right, because banks want you're a high risk if you're in that type of credit bracket.
Yeah.
So therefore, they want all of their money up front. So they're going to have where probably 90% of the payment is going to be interest for the first few years.
That's true.
Holy cow.
So look at this chart. I don't know if y'all can see it if it is backwards. Anything under a 550 is considered a poor score. 4.
Wow.
Bad. Not good. Not getting good rates. National average is at least a 670. But when we talk about mortgages, to get into the 660 range is probably the best range to start having low resistance from a mortgage lender. So 660 and above definitely would help out. But 440, god dang.
Well,
That's
car.
crazy.
So all we're doing, no judgment. Showing you can look fly in the car, but if the pockets ain't flowing,
Throwing money away.
you throwing money away.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You get a $2,000 car and you walking away paying 20 for it. Sheesh.
Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever know.
I think I'm gonna ride a bicycle till I get my score.
Well,
Wintertime might be a problem if you're doing that, y'all.
Unfortunately, you kind of need a car though to raise your score to give yourself something solid. So sometimes you might have to just bite that. Some of like if you do have just bad credit situations where that's your only option at that point, you're going to need that high interest car to reestablish yourself. And you're just going to have to just pretty much, if you get a used car, it's going to have a high interest rate like that. You got to just keep it a year. And then after a year, you got to stick with a new car because you got to go with something with rebates to help eat up some of that negative equity. And then you'll get a lower interest rate as time goes along. So 2 years, you can recover from any credit situation that you've in. I don't care if your scores are for something. I don't care if you had repos or whatever the situation may be. You can recover from any credit situation in 2 years.
Yes, and know your credit score before you go to the dealership.
That is craziness.
Know it before. I know when I was younger, I would go to the dealership just because I wanted the car, but they see me a mile away. Oh, look at this newbie coming on the lot. She just wants a car. She wants her payment here, and they'll give it whatever. They saw me coming, and because I wasn't knowing about what to ask for, I got a high interest rate, and I didn't know any better. So just make sure before you go to the dealership, you know what your credit score is, and make sure you talk to someone before you go there, because you could be paying too much if you
Also, Lori, if I'm not mistaken, you actually have an auto credit score, which isn't looked at as like the FICO. Like people have an auto score, like literally an auto score that's different, that could be different from your FICO score. So that's something to pay attention to as well.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to mention. Because when people pull their credit on their own on these Credit Karmas or whatever, that's not the same scoring system that these merchants pull from.
That's right.
And because a lot of people come in there saying, "Oh yeah, I got a 700," but we're pulling a 620, and them little self credit report places, because each merchant pulls from different scoring systems, so therefore,
True.
kind of similar to what my man was saying. It's kind of different from just looking at your FICO.
Okay.
So let me ask a question, because this is kind of new to me. I didn't realize that car dealerships actually pull a separate credit score versus it's another merchant. Have you? What particular credit score do they actually pull? I mean, is it a combination of Equifax, TransUnion, and the other one like
Experian? Experian is the other one, yeah.
They're just pulling Experian. But you said Rashida had asked, where do you find the other scoring system?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, say if you're going to apply for credit at a jewelry store, like their scoring system can be different if you're going to a furniture store, or if you're going for a home loan, or if you're going from a car loan. But sometimes it can be better, because sometimes people come in saying their score is a 600 and it being a 680. So it just it just all depends. It could go up or down and fluctuate. It's really not going to be a like right on point. It can fluctuate up or down. But I just look at, as far like the topic of restoring. I don't care if people have like so much debt or whatever, where they have to file bankruptcy. You can recover from that. Like I said, I don't care what your situation is, because all you need is 3 lines of credit to reestablish yourself.
Yep.
And I tell this to people all the time, and I don't have no problem sharing my personal experience on here, because I had an 804, and back in 06, 07, when the market crashed, my moving business lost contracts. And my trucks, I had 3 trucks that were collecting $500 tickets a day, because I didn't have nowhere to park them.
Oh my gosh.
And so, at that point, I had a $700,000 house. I had Mercedes, BMW, and maids and all this stuff. And next thing you know, I had no money coming in. So of course, $100,000 in the bank don't last long. So I had to file bankruptcy in 07. And all I did was reestablished 3 lines of credit. I went and did 2 secure loans. I put my money in for that, and then got me a car. And then, like I say, in 2.5 years, my score was back to 795. So that's what I'm saying. You can recover from any situation.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's why I always say 2 years.
At least 2 years.
2 years. If you follow the steps, you can recover from any situation in 2 years.
Because different scores, Rashida, also, as I think have mortgage companies, they pull from a different credit agency. So different agencies have different abilities to get different scores. So that's why some people say, well, this mortgage company pulled, it was a 670. Now it's a 640 when I go over, to Credit Karma. So it's just the agency that pulls it could make a difference. But plain and simple, just make sure you check on it at least once or twice a year. Check on annualcreditreport.com. Get your score just so you can make sure you're on top of it. All right. So we're going to answer the questions as we get them coming in. So number 1 was pay off old debt. Start with the smallest. Work your way up, high interest rate 2, all the way up to the larger debts.
Great.
Large, yeah, because that percentages, they love to see you coming, and they just want to make sure you stay around for a long time. So we're not going to get too involved with the credit modules as far as the percentages, but start with the highest interest rates first and knock them things out as small as you can. All right, number 2. How many people might be getting a refund out there? I'm self-employed, so I don't get a refund. Are y'all getting a refund?
Me neither.
You getting a refund?
I try to break even. That's what
I don't.
No refund.
I might get one this year. Because I get to write off, this property tax and interest and stuff on the house from last year. So I might get a refund this year.
You might get a little bit of change, but for those that might be getting a refund, take your
maybe, because remember I told you I had to write a $36,000.
Will, you're going in and out. Now you being like Kevin. You bet.
My bad. Well, I'm driving. I'm driving, so I might go in and out.
It was okay. You're better now. Hey, Rachel, what's going on? All right, so take your tax refund and apply it to the debt. That's number 2. Right? Do not go crazy with it when you sit down there and you're going through, all right, how much do I owe or how much do I get? If that green box says you're getting anything, I don't care if it's $5 or $20, take that money. And if there's anything on the credit that needs to be paid off, you have the report. Remember, we've got your debt, smallest to largest. Look at the interest rate and start applying that money. That's the thing to do. Getting the money anyway back is not the best thing to do anyway because you've been overpaying the government, but that's a whole nother topic. But if you're going to get a refund back, apply that money to your debt. If you've been waiting all year, you might as well get that monkey off your back. Kevin, what you say about that? Kevin, you still
Repeat that one more time? I couldn't hear you.
Take your tax.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Take your tax refund and apply it to your debt.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's a great opportunity, especially being that you really don't understand that that's the money that you're getting, like you're getting your money back to you. Actually, it ain't even all of it. Like they took your money that you gave them throughout the year. They multiplied your money.
They money off your money.
Yeah.
Excited. Can you guys hear me?
Kind of, sort of.
Can you guys hear me?
I got Will messing up,
Lord.
Kevin messing up. Y'all, just got strong internet.
All right, so
Take your
here we go.
refund and get the internet.
All right, you good? All right, am I good now? So, you know, definitely want to take your money and invest it in paying down your debt, because if you think about it, if you can minimize the amount of people you owe,
That'll be even better. Yes.
Sorry
Sorry
about that. My daughter was calling me on her iPod.
Hey, baby girl.
Now
So
everybody.
Rashida said no refunds spent on Black Panther outfits neither.
Right.
That's not an emergency. It's not an emergency. All right. We're talking everything on credit reports and not charged on the credit report. Yeah, y'all. I'm ready to go to the movie, but I'm not going to be going crazy over charging an outfit for it.
You're gonna put on a Catwoman too.
Catwoman, I'll put it together. All right, I'll see what's in the back of the closet. Right, I'll put my Unleashed shirt on.
There you go. And the boots with the mouth out.
Right. I'm trying to impress everybody. Score. All right. So all these are the things that you can do within the next 30 days. Is it going to be 30 days where your score pops up to a 850? No, but it might be closer to that than where it was in January. So all we're trying to do is give some tips on what to do to hurry up and move a little bit in that direction. All right, so number 3 is a real good one. Need you to find somebody who is responsible or who has responsible paying habits and become an authorized user on their part.
Absolutely.
That is a one. Think about folks that are coming out of school. Sometimes people might need to just rebound from a bankruptcy or a short sale or anything, just kind of to rebuild. Your parents or maybe a loved one, they can add you to their account as an authorized user. So as I said, they got to be responsible, because you being an authorized user, you get to take the ride with them as they're making payments and they're flourishing on their credit history.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on that. That goes back to when I was saying again about having 3 positive lines of credit. I did that with my ex-wife to help better her situation. I put her as an authorized user on 2 of my credit cards.
Right.
And then that led to her getting a car. And then that made 3 lines of credit. And in a year and a half, she went from a 560 to a 702.
Look at that. Look at God. Look at God.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So she
You said,
didn't
how
even have.
long did that
Did
take,
she
Will?
make payments?
Say that again.
Did she make payments?
No, I made the payments.
Okay, but
Like I
was
said,
she
she
using the
was
card?
just along for the ride.
Right. So she
So-
wasn't using the card neither, right?
No, she didn't use it.
Right.
So
Okay.
how long
We
did that take, Will? I'm just kind of,
Say
how
that
did that take for her to
Uh,
credit?
about a year and a half.
Okay.
But it
She went
doesn't
from
take that
560
long.
to 702. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. And a lot of times, it's really just we don't have the education about it. You know, a lot of people just think, you know, you gotta, you know, never make mistakes, never have anything bad, and we just let the bad stuff sit there, and we don't understand. You know, we're not educated on how it works. So the first thing you want to do is eliminate a credit card, because normally that's the highest interest. Anything you want to pay off first will be a credit card, because
Right.
those carry the highest interest. So that's where you're flushing most of your money down the toilet, is on a credit card.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick, you know, the lowest one, like you said before, the lowest balance credit card is the one to go first. But definitely you can just jump on somebody's coattail for authorized use. Make sure they paying bills on time, though, because if they messing up, then they ain't gonna help your situation.
Who's got an American Express that I can ride on? The coattail. I'll take American Express, please. That would look
One
good.
credit card, that's all I use.
That
One.
would look good. But no, I had a family member help me out with an American Express card, and I forgot about it. And that actually had been helping 2 years ago, help boost my own credit.
Absolutely.
So I know it works. I know I didn't use the card, but I benefited from the use of it. So if it is someone in your family that does have that, now if they make a payment late, you're gonna be late too. It's gonna show in your report too. So so tonight's topic is really just how you can get these things done in the next 30 days. Procrastination never works. So stop acting as if this is gonna go away, and a year later, 2 years later, you're still scratching your head. I should have did this. Yep, you should have. It's costing you more money every single day on the little things that we miss out on. You know, I've been there, so I know what it's like when you got to be told, no, not this time. Sorry, you'll get the notification in the mail. Like, that gets old. That gets really old. So these are the things that you can start doing now, immediately. All right, number 4. Number 4 is open up a secured card with your bank.
Yes.
Secured. That means it's your money. And it actually reports on your credit report. So just imagine whoever you bank with, credit union or bank, it doesn't matter. Go in there to see what options do I have for a secure credit card and a secure card. Because let's say that limit is $500. You deposit $500 into that account. And as you use that card, gas, food, you know, pay whatever the minimum is or a little bit more, that usage gets reported on your credit report. And that's what you need. So when folks like Will at the car dealership pulls it, he sees, wow, there's a small balance on this card, but guess what? It's helping you with your credit score. So that's something you can do tomorrow as far as it's Friday, go inside the bank and find out what kind of things you can do with their secured card availability.
I got the perfect solution for those types of scenarios, Lori.
What you got?
What you can do is, like when I was saying, to reestablish yourself, it's along the same lines of that. You can go into your bank and say you want to do a secure loan. What I mean by that, most of them do like $500 secure loans. You want to get 2 of them. So you give them, your bank, $1,000. Say I want 2 $500 secure loans. They put it right back in your account the next day, and then just leave it there. And the monthly payment on that is $49 a month for each one. And just have them automatically take it out that account every month.
Sweet.
In 12 months, you'll have 2 paid off $500 secure loans.
Nice. See, I just learned that.
So therefore, you don't have to go through the thing of using a card, paying the card. Just do a secure loan. Just let it sit there and let them automatically take it out every month. In 12 months, you got 2 paid off secure loans.
Y'all hear that?
Right.
Y'all hear that? But also keeping something closed could hurt the score.
No. What I'm saying is that will push your score up where then you'll have other options to get bigger things, such as, cars or whatever. Pretty much as long as you just have 3 lines of credit going, you're fine.
That's a good thing. So you got your secured card option and then you got your secured loan option. But either way, take your butt into the bank and ask, because they're not going to be looking for you.
Absolutely.
Right, Rashida, I need you to be live because I'm trying to read these things at the same time. I have a few. Does American Express carry more weight than other cards? I'm not sure if American Express versus all the other credit cards carry more weight with the credit score, because that's just what I have personally. So
I don't think so. I had one back in '94, and that was actually the second credit card I ever had, and I didn't see where it had like a bigger impact than any of my other cards.
Okay. All right, and Rashida has said, if you have 3 or more credit cards already, do you benefit from more lines open?
That goes depending on your income. It depends on your income. It depends on your credit history. If you already, if you have the income to support more lines of credit, then it's okay. Because every time you apply for new credit, even if you get approved for it, it all depends on how much credit availability you have on your debt to income.
Got it.
If your debt to income can handle it, then it'll be fine. But if it's pushing near the edge of that debt to income ratio, then it'll hurt you.
Yeah, because I've seen some people's credit reports. They still have a high 700 credit score, and they have balances on multiple cards. But
and can't get approved for anything. Yeah.
But it depends what their income is also. So it's a whole relationship, I guess, factor that they have to take a look into. But a lot of times just some people think they have bad credit, where it's just they have too much debt on those cards. And that's something that if you were to pay down those balances yourself, you would see your credit score just pop up the next month. So that's number one. Pay down your balances till at least 30% of the limit, and you can do that on your own. That's not having bad credit. That's just having too much debt.
Right. Absolutely.
Cards. And Rashida, I hope that answered the cards. Is there usually low or no interest on the secured cards, Will?
On the secure loans, it's only very minimal. It's very little. It's like because you're using your money. You're not using their money. Right. You're not borrowing any money from them. So they're not charging you interest on your money.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know. So certainly those are questions on a Friday. You may want to go inside the banking center and ask that question. People that are getting ready normally for mortgage loans, Will works at a car dealership. So some of these credit strengths that he's talking about is in the dealership because he sees credit every day. Same thing on the real estate side. When we take a look on getting approved for a loan, I've seen individuals get into a home loan with 0 credit, but they had some other things that they were paying on that the lender could use. So sometimes having no credit is not the best thing because you don't have really a track history that the lenders can see who you've been paying and let me see a score. So you don't have to have a whole lot of credit, but I just like Will, I would say stick to at least 3 different trade lines that you can have open that can help with the credit score. You don't have to try to get every damn credit card on the market. It's not a competition.
Right. Right. If you get some interest-free credit cards, they'll work too.
If you get interest-free, that means your credit score is at least a 10,000.
I got 2 credit cards that are interest-free. I got a year to pay them down, pay them off.
You got stipulations.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All that's on point. I'm good.
You got stipulations. All right. Yeah. So we talked about. So we've got 5 points and a.
Cars will get that first.
Well, what did you say?
No, I was agreeing with my man. If you get a 0 interest, I was going to say another way that you can help yourself with the credit card is if you can say if you got a $10,000 limit and it's maxed out on one card. And then you can get another card that has 0 interest for the first year, transfer that balance over, and then you now have a year to pay off that card with no interest instead of them eating up, 20% of your payment.
Right.
Very good. We got to get to that 0% status. Carl, I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to talk with you in a second. The last one I had was about enroll in credit repair if it's something that's necessary to clean up the credit report. Because when we talked about pay off your debt, sure, it might still be some stale things on there. Let's say a collection that was paid or even open on your credit report. Number 2 was go over, take your refund if you're getting one, and apply some of that money towards your old debt. Number 3 is become an authorized user on someone's credit, someone responsible's credit report. That way you can take a ride on their great credit, and your credit score will start to move up pretty quickly within the next 30 to 60 days for sure. And number 4, open up a secured card, and as Will said, open up a secured loan so that you can start to get a line of credit, line on your credit, start to move up. So to start to mature the score, as I call it. And the last thing is, number 5, before I give the bonus, is enroll in credit repair. Now this one is a personal venture for me because a couple of years ago I had to personally do credit repair because I needed to boost my score up and just get a couple of negative things removed off the report. So a lot of people have goals that they're trying to do. They're trying to purchase a home. They're trying to start a business. They're just clean up the mess. Keep a job, because a lot of times the security clearances require you to keep a certain credit criteria. And if you don't have that credit criteria, sometimes credit repair is a process necessary so that you can keep your score healthy. All right. And as I said, anything under a 550 is considered a poor score. Hey, Will, when do you start to see differences in the credit score or into interest rates with your auto company? With the auto rate?
When it comes to cars, pretty much it's not just a score. It's like if you got car credit history. So say if you had late payments on a credit card, or you had late payments on a personal loan, but you never was late on your car, you have good car history, then you can still get a good interest rate on your car loan, because they say your car credit history has been flawed. So it's a combination of your car credit history and your score is what can impact your interest rate on getting a car.
Okay. All right. So your score is going to be impacted, of course, with the negative activity that you have. I best believe if you get a 550 credit score and you go try to get a car loan, it's not going to be the same as if it was 650 or 750. Obviously, there's tiers to it, so you will be seeing a difference. Okay?
Right.
So cleaning up, and sometimes what I have done is talk to clients before they go get a car or before they purchase a home or even rent a property. Sometimes they got to do credit repair. And I'm going to just raise my hand and just say I've done it so that I can just raise my score up. And it took about 4 months in order for the score to go over 120 points. And that was a big deal. Just if you know what I mean, just going to the counter sometimes, just asking for certain services. If you needed to get, I don't know, a Macy's card or just a credit card, just anything approved, that difference makes, a whole difference on insurance. It makes a difference on your car insurance. Makes a difference on who says yes and at what rate. Okay. So, Carl, you want to talk a little bit about that boost?
Yeah. My score was like, it was in the low 600s, and because I had a lot of debt, a lot of stuff I had to get paid off. So then what I did was I got in contact with Lorie and went through the company that she was using for credit repair, and so they helped me in the process. And so what I noticed as I was paying things down and getting rid of the debt and so forth, my score started to go up. It went from it was at a 619. And then all of a sudden, I think it was about a month and a half.
Yeah.
I checked it. and it went from like 619. I was always to 700. It went to the 700s.
Yours was
and
good.
then and then it went as high as 745.
Oh, you
I was
showing
like,
off
wow.
now.
Yeah, I mean, it went up there. I was like, whoa, I couldn't
You're
believe
back.
this. I was like, man. And then it was all because, like I said, like Kevin and Lori said, you pay off the small stuff, you can do your small debts, address some old debts you got, get rid of that, and then, you build and work it up. And before you know it, you can be right there. And right now, my score right now sits at on average 7. My score now is a 715 across the board.
Safeguard it.
Yes.
Safeguard it. That's
not going to
good.
let nothing. And I'm keeping it and I'm maintaining that. So
maintain it. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing is, thank you for sharing that. When you go through that, everybody has a different story on how long it's going to take. Because some people ask, how long is it going to take? Well, the biggest thing is, how long does it take to lose weight? I don't know. Everybody is different. So normally 30 to 90 days, you're going to see some improvement. So when you go through that repair process, the company that we go through will pull the credit report, look at the negative information, and send that negative information off on your behalf to the bureaus. The bureaus has 30 days legally to verify that information. If they can verify it, they will. If they can't, guess what? It has to legally come off. So Carl and I are testimonies to know, hey, the credit bureau they couldn't verify it within that time frame, so certain things got removed.
And none of that negative information ever came back. And it's 2018. How long ago was that, Lori? About 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's
hasn't come back. Haven't even seen it.
Yeah, so just imagine.
It's gone.
It's the credit bureau's job. So some things they can do, some things they won't. But if they can't verify it, then legally what you'll see is that information removed off the credit report. Removed off your report. So now when you go to see Will, you've got a better score. Now when you go see Lori, you got a better credit score to get into the house.
Yes.
You see how options start to change when you take that step? You take that small step. Daniel, your score is probably what, at 8,000? What do you say?
No, it's not quite that high, but
not
it's
quite
high.
That high yet. Okay.
Yeah.
But you get it where we're talking about the credit enrollment. Okay. Not everybody needs.
Yeah, especially us, man, as African Americans, man. We definitely gotta take that more serious because a lot of us just we don't give ourselves, the options that we deserve because we out here working hard every day and just don't even realize, man, we're taking one step forward, 2 steps backwards every day.
Right.
Thank you.
And we're making these creditors rich. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want to be able to borrow their money for pretty much free. You know what I mean? And
like Will, you said something earlier. It's really based on a lack of education. A lot of us are not educated on credit. Growing up,
true.
We have these conversations, in our households. We were always just told, saying go to school, get a, saying good grades, so we can go out and get a good, saying government job. At the end of the day, my parents didn't teach me anything about, saving money properly, type of investments. We didn't have these candid conversations, So,
absolutely.
So that's why we have them on Unleashed. Okay. This is it.
It's important for us to have these conversations now, especially with our children. So we can bring them up, in the proper way.
Exactly, because piggybacking off what you said, my mom, she never had credit or none. We lived in Southeast DC, grew up on welfare. She had a car maybe twice in my childhood, and my mother died when I was 17. So I never had any guidance, education, or anything about credit becoming an adult. So that's why with my daughters, I had to learn from mistakes, of course. I didn't really understand the importance of credit when I was about 23, 24.
Right.
And that's when I, understood, and that's when I began to educate myself on it. But what I did with my daughters, their freshman year of college, I told them that, because they pretty much was going to school at the same time, one Howard, one Mississippi State, and I told them that I would get their car for them the first year, albeit they make honor roll, and I'm putting their names on it as well. So I did that for both of them their freshman year, and I said, by the time you graduate, you'll have a paid off car loan in your name, you'll have good credit, and you'll get one credit card. is what I told.
See?
And so they both graduated last year. They got paid off vehicles. She got her job. She then traded in that car that I had paid for. Now she got a Camaro just in her name with a 3.1 rate. You know, they both have 770 credit scores with options.
Good. And that's the thing. And so we have to make sure, because again, what everybody just said on here, my mother and father didn't tell me about credit. That's something I had to experience as I got older. So same thing, just like as Will was saying, start your children off right by doing the authorized signing, getting the loans, you know, helping them so that they can at least mature the right way with this credit situation. Because it's sink or swim if you don't know what you're doing. But there's always a way to rebound and at least get some things going. I'm gonna give you a bonus. Here's a big one I just figured out, and Kevin knows about this one, and quite a few people might know about it. The bonus tip to help your credit score in the next 30 days and going forward would also be for those that may have rental history. You haven't owned a property as of yet, but what if you could get your rental history added to your credit report? Will, did you know that they can do that?
They do that. The apartment complexes automatically do that.
No, not all of them do that.
Well, I know some of them because when we sold the house in Bowie, and before I got that house, and then because we had moved to an apartment, and then I didn't even know that at that time, and that educated me that I report it had an apartment on there. And
too.
Yeah, so make sure you ask them, whoever you might be renting from, do you report on the credit report? Some will, if it's a management company and they say yes, we do, great. Make sure that is a good thing, because you want to get rewarded for the payments that you're making every single month. And if it's not, if the management company says no, we don't, Daniel, this is something you may want to also look into for future things. For tenants, what they can do is they can subscribe to a program, and the company will verify the rental history going back 2 years, so it can help their credit score kind of like retro back 2 years. And then going forward, the company will call the management company every month, hey, has Mary Jones been making her payments? And the good thing about this is normally rental apartment complexes or rental situations, you're late after what? The 5th.
Yeah, right.
This company only dings you if you're late after 30 days. So it's treated like an installment loan, like your house or like your auto loan. So it's a good thing. So if you've got a history that needs to go on there, if you're getting ready to buy a home, these are the kind of things that you may want to start putting on your credit report to help boost your score. Because I had one young lady add her credit history, went back 2 years. She added her rental history, and it boosted at least 20 points. 20 points.
I gotta talk to Keita about that.
Yep. So property managers need to know these kind of things, and if you need to know what that service is all about, please let me know, and I will let you know. What did Rashida say? Stop putting light bills and cards in the baby's names. Let them have a shot at good credit. In the rental history, catch this. What if your mother was your landlord? It's okay. What if you were paying your mom cash for the payments? It's okay. So the company just needs to be able to verify who you are, who the landlord is, and they'll be able to slap that rental history on your credit report. I hope that answers your question. So for mortgage companies also, they would love to get this because it helps add a line of credit, like Will was saying. If you can have at least 3 lines of credit on your credit report, that can be one. The rental history can be one. So if you need some information on that, you got to inbox me to get that special little nugget. But for those that need the credit repair, just to kind of get started on, let me get started to clear it up. Go to yourcreditmakeover.com, yourcreditmakeover.com. Watch the information video, which is like 5 minutes, and get started. The first thing is you've got to say, I'm going to do it. But it takes discipline. Like, you can't procrastinate this situation away. It doesn't work. So stop saying, I'm going to do it, and it's 2019 and you still haven't done it. It makes me no difference. It makes me no difference because I'm going to be in a house. It doesn't matter. but I want you to be in a house. I want you to stay in a house. So these are the tips that we're trying to do in the next 30 days, to get you to the point where you can check off that list and say, all right, I did it.
Absolutely, man. Then definitely, man, like educate our children, man, because they can be, the earlier they know about that, then the sooner they'll have options. Because that's why both my daughters, I told them I want them to be property owners by the time they're 26 years old. I don't want them going out here just rent. They can buy wherever they live and pay a fraction of what it costs to rent it.
Right.
Hey, Will, I got a quick question for you, man. Because you think that you really know a plethora of information concerning credit. When does an individual, when does a credit score really kick in for an individual? You know what I mean? Because I know, like, my nephew right now, he's like 13. But when does, I guess, the Bureau start tracking, saying an individual's credit?
Normally, as far as age, I would just say, I think you got to be 16 to be an authorized use on somebody's card. It's either 16 or 18.
Yeah.
Because I know, you normally don't start getting student loans until 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You said he's 13? I think what you can probably do is, if you want to check to see what's the earliest age a bank would allow him to be an authorized user. That's probably where I would start, and let him coattail on that. And then, like I say, whenever he gets that first car, he might be able to, if you do that, he can probably, like, say if you could do that by the time he's 16, and then you just maybe go on with him for that first car, or he might could go by himself for a car under $10,000.
Yeah.
If he can get a single-digit interest rate and have a payment of $100-something bucks, and then that's all he'll need to establish himself. Because all he needs is 2 years of paying for that on time, and he can trade that in and give himself, because pretty much with cars, they'll start you off at one level, they'll start you off, say, at 10, and then, the first car, they'll start you off under 20. And then if you show you can pay that on time, then okay, we'll lend you up to 30. And then pretty much once you get up to 30, you're pretty much fine.
YourCreditMakeover.com.
That sounds awesome, man. That sounds awesome. Because that was one of the things I didn't really understand or really know. Like I said, growing up, my parents didn't really teach me about credit, so I didn't know exactly when, my credit score really kicked in. I remember being in college and seeing a number of, credit card vendors coming through trying to sign everybody up for credit cards.
Right.
I remember seeing my mom and my dad kind of struggle, with credit cards. They robbing Peter to pay Paul, in a sense, to get rid of some of these credit cards. And at that point, I was like, no, I'm never getting a credit card ever in my life.
Colleges are good for that.
Yeah.
You don't have a job. Like, why would they give you a credit card?
Right. Yeah. Say if you send in $300 to the credit card, and you say if you max out a credit card and you're paying them $300, they're taking 110 of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty
So
much.
stop getting the cards. So stop applying for the cards, especially if you're going to college and you don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
They got me.
Yeah.
Anywhere they had the Visa symbol, I was in there. I'm like, oh, now the bill is due. What the hell do I do?
Right. I had a friend of mine in college who got a credit card. She bought this trinket for her mom for like Mother's Day. Completely forgot to pay the thing off. Cut off the card, the whole 9 yards, and she never paid the bill. And I think like maybe a year or so later, she got this astronomical amount of money that she had to pay on a trinket that was only like $5.
Yep.
Oh, that interest.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't forget the interest at all.
No.
They said, we'll be back. We'll be back. So now that $5 trinket turned into $700 somehow.
Yep. Because of the late fees and then the fact that the interest is accruing.
So stop avoiding it. That's why I said check the credit report, because the signs are there. At least once or twice a year, look at the report. I was talking to another real estate agent just this week, And she asked me a question about, Lori, what is this? My score went from 550 down to 550, and it was over 670 about 2 weeks ago. So I'm like, what changed? What changed? She said, well, this collection popped up on my credit report, and it's not mine. I'm just not going to call them. And I said, no. What you're not going to do is avoid it. Because if it's not yours, call them up, let them know that you're disputing it, and you need to have that removed off your report. Like, just thinking in your mind, it's not mine, like, it's not just going to magically just disappear. It's going to make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So address the situation when you see it.
Exactly.
Right. It's just not going to go away because you don't see the report every day. It's like, oh, okay, it's in the book, so it doesn't exist. No, it exists. Watch the report at least once or twice a year and check on what you need to do. Okay?
One thing I want to say is what I see a lot of, and people don't understand how something so small can impact their credit score so much, is medical bills. People go to doctor's offices, they go to emergency rooms.
Yeah.
It could be a $75 bill, but if you don't pay it and they put that on your credit report as a collection, your score can drop 80 points from a $5 collection.
The medical game is a trip because when you go, you assume that visit is taken care of. No, how many people did you see in that emergency room? Somebody took your blood.
Yeah, they mail you the bill and you don't even think about it.
Yeah, somebody took your blood, somebody took your pressure. These are all like separate deposits of invoices that are coming. So if you get that $75 bill and you're thinking, oh, my insurance is supposed to take care of it, better call them as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Hey, is this my responsibility or not? Because if you keep avoiding that, same thing, it's going to keep coming, and then it'll pop up on your credit report.
Yeah, and a good thing to have as well too is to make, if you can get on to, like, you know, because the way the identity theft is these days, I mean, anything can pop on your credit report. Maybe you don't check it and monitor it. Because I mean, I check all 3 of my reports weekly.
Right.
I check them. Right. And I got LifeLock too, and LifeLock alerts me if anybody try to do anything or whatever.
Right.
Because identity theft is high. It's very high. You got to protect yourself. Otherwise, somebody gonna put something or charge something on your report. You be like, how the heck did that get on there? And you can be just trying to pick and dispute that thing. That's right. You got to protect it.
How much is that a month?
The LifeLock, I'm paying $25 a month, and I got everything. I mean, the whole thing for $25 a month. And I get anything comes about my report. I get an email, I get text. They let me know, hey, is this you?
Right.
Right away. They don't. I know right away. And I can stop, and they can stop it. If it's not you, they can stop that transaction.
Yeah, it's definitely a piece of mind, and I agree. And I've had several customers that come in that pay all of their bills on time. They can pay every bill on time, but they got medical bills $70, medical bills $60, medical bill $100, and their score is a 580. They're $260 away from having a 750 score.
Wow.
But it's 580 because
look at what you said, y'all. So watch those medical collections because they will hurt your score quickly.
When you go to that doctor, your insurance doesn't always cover everything.
No, they don't. And let me end with this myth that people have been talking about. When I talk to plenty of people for their credit on getting a home loan, and they're looking at their credit and like, well, Lori, that thing's been sitting on my credit report for 7 years. Shouldn't it come off? I don't know where this one came from. Yes and no. All right. So just imagine if you've got a collection on your credit report from 2000, what year is it now? 2018?
18.
Yeah.
So let's just say it was 2011. All right. And you haven't paid the bill since 2011. It's now $4,000 because it's double. They want their interest. All right. So now it's 2018. You look at your report and you're like, well, it's been 7 years. Shouldn't it just come off my credit report? My answer is, have you paid it yet? If you've paid it, then it's got a statutory period of 7 years to stay on your report. But you have to pay it first. Imagine if everybody waited 7 years just for their debt to fall off. Like, this whole country would be bankrupt twice over.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna just wait 7 years, just let it just fall off. No, it's 7 years after
It's
you
irresponsible.
yeah, that you would see that come off the credit report. But credit repair can also push that to help it get removed off the report.
Right. You can negotiate with these creditors because pretty much all they sell your accounts to collection companies to try to collect as much money as possible. So when you're negotiating with them, you want to negotiate that, okay, if I pay this agreed amount of money, you will give me a letter and have this removed from my credit report. You can pretty much negotiate that stuff off of your credit report.
Yep.
And like you said, as far as the 7-year thing, it's 7 years from the last point of contact that they have from you. So say if it was 5 years and they tracked, you didn't move 10 times, and then they eventually catch up to you and talk to you on the phone, that starts that 7-year clock over again. And a lot of people do that stuff.
That's true. So when you answer the phone, are you Lori Woodruff? I don't know. When you confirm that debt, that started the clock all over again. And they're like, because
the minute they get in touch with you, they're going to document that I got in touch with you on this date, that clock start over again.
Right. And understand those creditors can sell your loan. So if you look on your credit report, the same amount, let's just say it started out with Capital Bank. Capital Bank sold it to 123 Collection. 123 Collection got tired and they sold it to ABC Collection. So, the ball keeps going until you pay it. Just pay it. All right. But if you do go through the process of settling it, no problem. Make a settlement with them, get it in documentation, and then also find out if they can remove it from your credit report when you are making that settlement.
They can remove it. To just like make that part of the deal. Say, when I pay this off, I want a letter saying that it's been paid and removed.
Right. Those are the things you may not know, but it's like, remember that movie, Same Time?
Same time, I don't owe you.
Same time. When I send you my money, even though it is a reduced amount, I need you to send me a letter showing it has been removed off my credit report as well and settled.
Yep, because they can have it off your credit report in 60 days.
See?
Right.
60 days later. So moral of the story is you have to be patient. Even when you go through credit repair, it's not going to take 24 hours and just be magically done. I can't do that for you, but I can at least get that process started to get you started. Like some people are saying, well, I want to be in a house by July. Well, you should be getting started like January. Like you should have got this process started, and it's not too late. But at least get that process started so that when the time comes, you're not stressed over that part. Sound good? Thank you, Will, for all your inputs, all your credit inputs. Yes.
Black power.
Black power.
Alex has said they do pay pennies on the dollar. So when it comes to collections, the original company has already sold and written that debt off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now they're just looking to recoup some money, and that's what the collection companies are there in place to collect as much as possible. That's why if you owe $500, you can sit there and make a settlement with them and just say, yo, can we do 200?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because
on hold, and they'll probably call their girlfriend like, yeah, they think I'm just calling my manager, but I can do it. You don't know what the powers are until you ask. So ask.
People at collection companies, they get paid on commission. The more they, you know what I'm saying? They get a percentage of whatever money they get from you. So they're going to try to highball you as much as possible because that's how they make their money. But if you just stand firm, they have a limit that they already know they can't go below. Yeah. But they're going to try to get as much above that as possible because they get paid on that. So, just pretty much you just got to know how to push them and push them and push them
right.
To that limit till they get to that limit where they can't go no lower.
Right. Alex has said he worked for a collection agency. Big scam.
Wow.
Big scam.
Hey, listen, tell Alex that he need to spill the beans.
He did just spill the beans. He said you can fix your own credit. All you have to do is dispute your report with the 3 bureaus. So some people, Alex, will do it. Some people
will give you the number. If you look on your credit report, it gives you every phone number, name, address for every creditor you have. That's who you call.
That's the discipline. So if you've got the ability, yes, you can do it for free. But if you
With
need
my
help,
coworker,
let me know.
we looked at her credit. I said, let's go to the bottom. I wrote down all the names and numbers of her creditors. I called them myself, negotiated much lower balances for payoffs for her. And I told her she can make 3 payments to pay them off. And boom, boom, boom.
Right.
It was done. I said, send a letter, have it removed. And her score went from a 4 something to a 6 something in about, it was almost 2 years because it was before 2014 and 16. It was somewhere between there.
Stop
As
being
soon as they
scared.
sent those letters and removed them, then it shows nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It eliminates
Yep.
any negative history you had with that account.
So, moral of the story is you have to stop being chicken. Stop being chicken, pick up the phone, and take the initiation to make sure that these things do not bother you. Because everything that we do, just like everybody here online, what if Carl needs a business loan? He can do that now because he's got better credit. He did credit repair. He did some minor things on his own. What if Daniel wants to buy a home? He's an investor. So what if he needs to get lines of credit for his business? He's got to have credit. Somebody going to go see Will to get a car loan. You can't be floating around a 440 credit score and thinking you're going to walk out of there with a single-digit interest rate.
Oh man, believe it or not, they come in there with a 4-something credit score and be talking about I can't have an interest rate over 15%.
Right. You can't call the shots. When you have a 440, you better just get on your knees.
Yep.
It always be the people with bad credit that have the most demands.
He said
instead of just being thankful that they can get a car loan.
And even with, I mean, I'm not going to shout them out because, you know, they have all rights. But folks who have challenged credit, I will find them asking for the world. I want granted, I want this, I want that. I'm like, I don't know if you're going to be able to get all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want leather.
Let's slow down a little bit. Let's kind of move up to the pace of what do you have to offer them to make them feel good about this, saying yes to your application. But you want granite and hardwood floors and all this and that. What are you bringing?
People, man, I want Tahoes and Yukon Denali's with a 4 credit score. And I only want to pay $400 a month.
Right. You can't call the shots when the credit is in a little disrepair moment. All right.
That's why when anybody asks to see Tahoes and things like that and Yukon, I say, what type of money are you expecting?
$200 a month.
I got a 2004 Tahoe for you.
If you come on a new Tahoe with leather and all that in it, you're looking at a minimum $800 and up.
Oh no! I didn't come in here for that. I only want to pay $200. I'm gonna wait. My girlfriend's gonna be doing all the paperwork though.
This is what happens when you walk into an auto dealership with disrespectful credit score.
Disrespectful credit score.
This one guy, and I'll never forget. It's like I don't know what it is with Metro people that work with Metro. It's like everybody coming in making $80,000 or $100,000, but everybody got 500 credit scores that work with Metro. I don't know what it is. But this one dude wanted a Tahoe, and we got him approved, but his interest rate was in the double digits, and his payment was $13.
Oh my gosh.
$13.80 or something.
Kidding me? Are you kidding me?
$14.80 for a Tahoe. It was
and get my 2004 Tahoe.
It was a $68,000 Tahoe.
Did he walk out of there with it?
Yeah, he did, but he came back the next day and said, "Man, I can't do this."
Man, that's crazy.
$1,300 for a truck.
Are you kidding me?
If you
that's a mortgage.
That is somebody's mortgage, right?
Now, like I say, the prices of these cars have gone up.
Think smart, y'all. Think smart. We're trying to give you the tips on what to do so you can flip that score in 30 days. I think you got enough tips. I'm going to drop the tips into the line. Rolling up on about 10:30, so I'm going to make sure I get out of here. But did you guys have anything else? Thank you so much, Will. You gave a lot of good tidbits to help somebody. I know you reached out to somebody good.
Hey, these were just things that I learned, and I have no problem sharing it with anybody, man, because it could be helpful to them, because I didn't have that education, you know, and so I definitely love to share it.
Yes, we had to learn as we went along, but at the same time, thank you for the selfless tips. For those that want to get more information on, if you want to do the credit repair yourself, go initiate, and we can talk a little bit more offline. Definitely inbox me if you wanted to get some more one-on-one information how to do it, because I do enjoy educating on how you can do it. But some folks are busy and they don't want to do it. Trust me, they're just like, what does it cost? I'd rather just pay a professional service to help me out. And whichever route we go, it doesn't matter. I'll help out. But you can start with going to yourcreditmakeover.com. Get started right there. If you needed to get in touch with any of these amazing folks that are going to be online tonight, I will make sure that their information is linked. So, Carl, we're going to be looking for that song coming out soon. And I know Kevin's going to have his book out very soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Let's do it, man. Everybody doing good things. Let's make 2016 epic.
So you have our support. You have our support. So everybody in
That's
Facebook.
right. You got my support all day long. I'll buy the book.
Right.
I'll buy the album. Whatever y'all got, bro. And I support my brothers.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And
So this is my first time, Lori, been on a video.